Oh! Welcome to Werewolf's Shapeshifter Tarot, where we explore freedom, nature, and the truth of your soul through stories, symbols, and cards. Here we ask the big questions, we wander the woods of the heart, and we find new ways of living in freedom. Today's reading is Masks, Ritual Clothing, and Authentic Freedom. Why do we dress up to go to church? Why do witches wear cloaks or robes in ritual? Why does clothing matter spiritually? And what's the danger when it all looks the same? We all wear masks every day. Our work clothes, casual clothes, even the way we style our hair. A mask isn't bad. It shifts our mindset. When you dress differently for ritual or worship, you're stepping out of the everyday into a different state. Sunday best in church, a mask of reverence. Robes and cloaks in ritual, a mask of sacred focus. These can be powerful tools when used consciously. The problem is there's danger in conformity when everyone's mask is the same. For example, in Mormon culture, people begin to look, act, and even feel the same. Hair, clothes, speech, energy, all synchronized. What's lost? Authenticity. When you lose authenticity, you also lose your personal connection to the divine. Then God's word is filtered through groupthink, not your own heart. That's population control, not spiritual freedom. In Wicca and small groups and solitary ritual, robes or cloaks can help shift out of the mundane into the extraordinary. In covens, small groups can still preserve individuality if approached authentically. But even in small groups, there's always the danger of group mind if conformity replaces authenticity. The radical shift, dressing authentically. Imagine if everyone went to church dressed authentically, expressing their soul, their dreams, their energy. The sermons would change because people would speak from the heart, not just indoctrination. Church would transform from conformity to creativity, from control to freedom. Same with ritual. Authenticity opens the door to genuine divine connection. Clothing can be a mask to open sacred space, but when masks become uniforms, freedom is lost. God doesn't need conformity. The divine needs you, your voice, your truth, your authentic self. That's where real freedom begins. Okay, this is the reading part of the video, and I tried to set up a camera and redo a recording, and it didn't work, and now I have a headache, but I still want to get the message out, so I'm going to show you what we pulled and recap. Okay, so a message on the masks, right? Okay, so we have the peace card that came out, and this is showing the transformation and how hard it can be when you start dressing and behaving and expressing yourself authentically. That it might be some stormy weather with other people coming in and bleh, saying you can't do that, you can't be like that, that's not real, that's not what we do, that's not how it's done. And to clarify, we pulled the Three of Swords and the Eight of Swords. And what that was saying is that by conforming, and wearing your Sunday best, as in the dress or the suit and tie, to blend in and match everybody else, and because, you know, that's how you're reverent, or whatever it is you're wearing to work, even whatever blouse or slacks or whatever you pick out to fit in with the culture there, whatever you're wearing to conform is actually setting up a prison. And that's where the Three of Hearts comes in, because anytime you deny your authentic self, it's like, you know, putting a little dagger in your heart. Okay, so it's killing you instead of freeing you up. And we need to release that and let our freedom grow. So we release the confines and the structures we're in by creating authenticity in our life through the way we dress. And even if you can't change your clothing, as long as you're aware of the spell, then it will loosen its effect on you, and you can figure out how to remind yourself. It's difficult because the structures are strong, and so you need to break free of them. And so that's why dressing authentically can help you do that. And we pulled out this other card. It was just laying there. It's the Five of Pentacles reversed, which says that you already are doing this. You already are dressing and expressing yourself authentically, and that is going to reverse the spells and the holds they had on you that kept you confined, imprisoned, and enslaved. And you're doing a beautiful job. We got the Retract card with these little weasel type characters on the mind and the heart. And to clarify that, we got the Eight of Pentacles. So this is showing that when you are acting authentically and dressing authentically, sorry, this camera's going freaking crazy all over the place. When you're doing that, you are breaking the contracts that you had with the conformity spells. So you're breaking free of the groupthink mind, and you're no longer indebted, you're no longer a servant, you're no longer a slave, you no longer are your soul, you're not selling your soul anymore, they don't get your soul anymore. You are breaking and retracting. Yeah, for a minute I thought it said retrace. I'm like, no, that blows the whole message. It's retract. You're retracting those contracts, retracting whatever it is that conformity had you promising you would think, act, and do. So every time you wanted to say no, but you had to say yes. Every time you wanted to say yes, but you had to say no. Whatever it is that those contracts had you doing, the things you didn't want to do, dimming your light, not being your authentic self, those are all being torn up, shredded, thrown away. They can't weasel their way in. And if they are weaseling their way in, you can check out that wall being spread. We talked a lot about the wall beings and the structures, and how they kept you a slave by making you doubt yourself and making you feel ashamed for being authentic. And so when we got one more card, just for fun, to support the bottom of the deck, we got this one, which ties in to that. It says, guard the nesting ground. And that little nest, that little egg, that is your baby. That is your dreams. That is your authenticity. That is your purpose. Look how precious it is. Of course you're going to protect it. So cleanse your energy anytime you hear the doubt that's creeping in, no matter where it came from, no matter what authority it came from. If it is making you doubt your dreams, yourself, what you're doing when you're acting authentically, get rid of it. Cleanse your energy and strengthen your field. The wall being spread talked about how you can create a field of energy around you that keeps the wall beings out so they can't affect you. It doesn't send them back to user, it sends them back to source, because really what that message and energy is a distortion. So it's being sent back to source. It can't harm you, and you can even add an extra layer of protection to your field so that anybody who's in your presence is free from the wall beings' influence. And so they'll get a little taste of freedom whenever they're around you. The wall beings can't act through them anymore to get to you. And who knows, maybe the people who had that taste of freedom will choose freedom now. And you give that to them. You're precious. And you're doing beautiful work when you're authentic. And you don't let the wall beings in. And if the wall beings get in, because it happens, just cleanse your energy and restructure your field, your force field, your shield. I love you, and I hope you all are having a great day. And we will see you next time here on Werewolf's Shapeshifter Tarot. Oh wait, oh my gosh, almost forgot to tell you guys. I had split the tarot deck to the Four of Wands at the end of that reading. And so that's all about celebrating your authenticity, your dreams. If you have a little egg in your nest that you are protecting with your authenticity and by cleansing your energy, and you do, otherwise you wouldn't be getting this message. You do. And so celebrate the good work you're doing. Celebrate, go do something nice for yourself. Do something really super sweet. Watch a sunset, watch a sunrise. Enjoy that steaming cup of drink. Remember how that steam brings you codes of freedom. And celebrate. Do some dancing, ground, and integrate. Just whatever you love to do to celebrate. Do something nice for yourself.